Hello guys, so let's understand some basics of statistics. This is first in the basics of statistics. We will begin in a very slow and plain way of understanding what the statistics is in a very basic manner. So statistics plays a very important role in modern day, as you see, in data science, in machine learning, in deep learning. So the foundation of all these learnings and the technology and the tools which we are seeing these days is statistics. So if you know statistics, it will be very easy for you to understand data science, machine learning or deep learning. So before learning any of these technology, it's very vital, it's very important to understand the fundamentals of statistics. So today we'll discuss the first chapter of statistics, which is what the statistics is. We'll discuss. So statistics is basically collection of methods, because what happens that if you have any data, you have to perform some activity on that. So how you will perform the activity? So the way to perform activity is statistics. So what we do in statistics, we describe the detail. I mean, if I have to tell me something about yourself, you will describe yourself. You will say that I have I've done Bachelor of Technology, I like music, singing, dancing. So you're describing yourself. So similarly in statistics, we focus on describing the data, which means we understand what the data is, which means we can discuss the shape of data. I mean, we can plot the data, and we can discuss what is the shape of data, what are the characteristics of data, what is the mean, median, mode of the data. We can discuss various of such things, which means that we can describe something. If I have to describe US, I can say that US is a superpower. US has great military strength. US is a home of various technology companies. So I'm describing it. I mean, just giving an example. So statistics deals with describing the data, describing something. Whenever you have to describe something, you need statistics. And also summarizing, which means that bottom line, I mean, if you have to summarize, because what happens that if you watch cricket or any other sports, sometimes you get the summary score, which means that you are interested to know the final outcome. Like, I mean, if you watch the news these days, they will give that the total count of corona affected people are say 4 lakh, 5 lakh, and so on. So they are not telling you that in each state how many people are affected. They are just giving you the important aspect. For example, if you have to know about what is the quarterly revenue of an organization, you will not tell various number. You will give one final answer. If I have to ask you what is the temperature, you will give one final answer, which means that you are summarizing something. You are giving me a final answer. If I have to ask you whether you passed or failed in a particular semester, you will not, I mean, people will not be interested to know that what were the subjects and all. So similarly, it helps in summarizing something. So whenever we need summarization, we need statistics. The third aspect is interpret. If you have to, for example, I tell you that the temperature tomorrow will be 20 degrees centigrade. You can interpret something. You can understand that, hey, it will be like mild winter. You can say that. I mean, it will be a mix of it will be a pleasant climate, you can say that. So you are interpreting. If I tell you that Virat Kohli has scored 100 run today, then you can interpret that, I mean, definitely the pitch will be good for batting, or something like that. At least you get a basic understanding of data. So statistics helps you to interpret this. You can, if I tell you the quarter growth of Jio was $2 billion, 2 billion USD, then you can interpret that the company is in very good shape. 2 billion is a great figure. I'm just telling you a figure. And the fourth aspect is analyze. So once I describe something, I summarize something, I interpret something, it's very easy to analyze something. It's pretty easy. So for example, if I tell you that the COVID count in Rajasthan is just 3,000. So you can analyze that. I mean, I'm just giving you a summary, or I'm giving one of the parameter of this statistics. So you can analyze that, hey, the the government or any other authorities, they are taking prompt actions, and people are also following the guidelines. So you are able to analyze immediately. You are understanding what's going on. So these parameters, these things are also part of data analysis and machine learning and deep learning algorithms. Any such thing always revolves around either of these feature. So now let's move to why statistics. As we have known by now that statistics helps us to describe, summarize, interpret, and analyze. So definitely whenever we deals with data, whenever there are data points related to us, statistics is pretty important. So I'll just repeat. So statistics helps us to draw conclusion. So conclusion is very necessary. And for example, let's discuss some fields and the areas where statistics plays very important role. In case of research, as we all know that the corona research is going on in various countries. So what it does, that you can analyze the pattern of the disease. You can understand how disease is getting spread. By analyzing few records, you will be able to understand what's the life cycle, how it's getting transferred, and what is the reaction time. So all these parameters, you are performing some analysis, or you are interpreting, or you are summarizing. So such kind of feature helps us in medical intervention. So you can understand, you can predict diseases if the areas of if you study the data of the particular area. Then second thing, it will helps you to understand relationship. For example, what's the relationship of fertilizer and crop? How much amount of fertilizer is required to yield a good crop? So all these things which involves research area, that requires statistical knowledge. The second area is administration. Like as we all know that with the help of statistics, you can understand the political system and the trade policy. As we know that when Trump is US president, and various trade policy has changed. So it depends on the kind of a party a particular government system belongs to. So various analysts, they can understand that what will be the trade policy if a particular party gets into power. So same goes to opinion poll. We know that these days it's very easy and mostly they are accurate to predict that who will be the next next party in power and any government. You can understand exit poll. You can analyze the data of a particular area, and then you can predict whether the particular candidate will win or lose. So these are the few areas, and core administration, it helps us to analyze risk factor. For example, government can analyze the pattern of disease in a particular district, and then they can issue the guideline. You know that now the lockdown is lifted, but there are some phased lockdown based on the analysis of the particular places. So it definitely helps us to analyze how what's the spread, and where there are a lot of application of it. So in business also, definitely as we all know that we always hear the term data science, big data, and data analytics. So why so? Because in business it plays very important role. I mean, what if you're running a business, you can identify the interest of a product. You can take a sample of, you can take a data, and then you can understand what are the interest of the particular set of people on that product. If you launch a new mobile phone, you can understand whether the customers are liking that particular new feature or not. So you can based on that, you can introduce that feature in your other products also. For example, Apple introduced iPod. So they understood that people are liking such product which are compact and which are easy to carry, and which has very great design. So they focused on design aspect always on their product. Similarly, you can understand customer mindset, and you can enhance your product features. And you can also optimize price. For example, for example, there are few products like Pepsi. They launched few different variety of drinks, but few succeed and few fail, because there was a blue Pepsi, if you remember, but that was not there in market for a longer period of time because people were not happy with it, and the price was also different. So you can, if you know that people are liking your one product, and they are ready to pay even if you increase the price, then you can optimize the price. You can take the price to a particular level where even customers are happy and you are also happy. So you are giving accurate price. I mean, and then in the price war, as we know these days, is very important to keep your product up to the speed. So with the help of statistics, you can know whether the interest of the product is fine or not, or what, and you can optimize the price. And you can also understand the satisfaction level, because these days we see generally they ask you to rate. You dial any bank number, they will ask you to, are you satisfied with our interaction? So if you go to any supermart, like any supermart like Reliance or anywhere, then there are some buttons where you have to select your satisfaction level, so they understand whether you are satisfied with their overall service or not. So this is just an overall overview of why statistics is very important, and you should know the basics and fundamental of statistics before proceeding into a program or data science. So we will understand a few more concepts. So we spoke about statistics and its features, but what's next? For applying something, you need like I talk about space technology, but whenever I talk about space technology, I need a rocket, or I need a space vehicle which can take me to outside the Earth orbit. So similarly for statistics also, you need data. When I say about statistics principles, statistics concepts, algorithm, everything need to be applied on data. So data will be collected in the form of rows and columns, and we call it is a data matrix. Understand it like a very very basic way of collecting data. We understand that we will have certain columns, like for example this is name, age, gender, and then sex, and then various, and then so on. Then you will have various rows. You will have name Ram, Shyam, Geeta, Sita, and then you have gender, and then you have their other attributes. So it comprises the entire set of the information. We call it as data matrix. So whenever there is an statistics, you have to collect data. So the larger organization, they always focus on collecting the right information at the right time, so that then they can analyze and predict and perform various analysis out of it. So that's very important. Now we understand. So imagine a scenario, people in India, 1.3 billion population. So it's pretty impossible for to collect data of each and every one. But what we do, we'll understand that next. So there is a concept of population. So imagine the entire population is full set of records, complete set of records. Say complete number of people residing in a country at a particular time. So we call it 1.3 billion, for example. But it's not possible to perform analysis or to draw any conclusion on the entire set of population. It's next to impossible. So what we do, I mean, let's understand. So in population, we have some in population we have some units on which we measure. For example, we have person, we have car, we have animal, we have plant. So these units on which we have to perform an analysis are called as units or observation. So for example, your area of interest is persons, and how many car they possess, and do they have pets or not, or do they have any planters, so that you can come up with a statistical operation. So if your data set is comprising of various units, we call it observation, and it's denoted by, just understand its notation. It's understand by small ohm symbol, that we call it Greek symbol. And these observations, so for example in India, we all have these units. If you are drawing any data set from India, you will have person also, car also, animals also, plant also. So this entire larger picture will be called as a population, and the units or observation which are part of it will be called observation or units, which we understood. But the entire data set, I mean the larger picture will be always called population, and will be denoted as ohm symbol. Now this each observation is a single unit of entire population. For example, if one person out of all person of interest, we need one person, so that one person will be one unit. For example, you need one person or 100% out of entire population, which is 1.3 billion. So this will be your sample denoted by this small ohm, and then it will be subset of larger population. So again, we focus on sample. We always perform our analysis on sample, and sample will always be a subset of population, which will be a larger group. So similarly, observation can be of various type, like it can be a person, it can be car, it can be animals, and it can be plant. So each units are there as part of our observation, which will be a subset. Subset means which will be a part of larger population. Example, social condition of India. Let's pick one example, social condition of India. If you have to understand, then this is a population. When I say India, I'm referring it as a population, which means it's a bigger picture. It's it comprises everything. So 130 crore population out of you need to understand the social condition. It's not possible for you to go to each and every house and understand their social condition, but you can take some sample. Like there are some sampling techniques which we will discuss, like how you can justify the samples. But you understand that you take some information. For example, if you have to know the what's the spread of corona in India, you can just take some sampling and of particular society or particular district or particular state, and then you can predict that what will be the spread. You can understand that hey, the spread is pretty high. For example, in Mumbai, in Maharashtra, the spread is pretty high, so that it's easy for you to raise red flag or warning symbol not to go into that particular area. But it's next to impossible to test the entire set of population. It's not possible, and we never do that. In statistics is always a study of sample, not the population, and based on the sample you draw inference about population. You can say that I tested for 10 people and 8 out of 10 are negative, which means that area is good, that the virus is not spreading. And just this is just one example. This can be related with the product also. And for example, if you have to understand the performance of steel companies in India, so all the steel companies will part of population, as we said that it will be a big ohm notation. So all steel companies will be part of. So but for example, imagine there are 100 steel companies. Will you go to each and every steel company and steel plant and understand how they behave? It's impossible. So same way we will take two observation. We will take 2 units out of it. So which we can take Tata Steel, we can take Jindal Steel. We can see their performance, how they behave, how they grow. Based on that, we can understand the overall picture of entire steel segment of India. We can say that hey, these 2 companies are profiting, and these 2 companies have sold out very good quality of product. So then we can understand the sentiment of entire steel population. So we'll end our note here. We'll continue in upcoming sessions. So statistics, understand, is providing every information related with data science. It's the foundation. Do not learn data science, do not learn Python or R programming without learning statistics. Thank you. Jai Hind, Vande Mataram.